Hey everyone, so I want to do a reading today on Aleister Crowley. He's a very interesting figure, and you know, I state what I know about these people prior to doing readings on them, and I am familiar with him. Probably not as much as someone who's obsessed with him, which I think within the spiritual community there are a lot of obsessive people with regards to this guy. I only know second hand, well, most of you only know second-hand information too, because he's dead. But yeah, so I just know like some people, other mediums and whatever, stuff like that. I'm not familiar with his work or like reading any of his stuff or anything like that. And so I do know a little bit about him, but it might be different. Anyway, so what I find interesting about him is that his soul feels like it's in peril. It's in a perilous state. A lot of grief and pain and remorse and regret, which is because he's saying that hell is real. Hell is real, but it's in the sense of like there's dimensions, like there's worlds below earth. There's layers below earth that can keep going down and down and down. And essentially what happens is, like, if you continuously go down, you will eventually get to the bottom. Like it's like the lowest of the low, and you have no choice but to go up. So it'll just keep kind of getting worse and worse for you. So like the more you deny it, the more painful it becomes. And essentially after he passed away, he had lowered several dimensions down, several layers down below earth, like this world, right? And hell is essentially a mindset. It's an awareness, a heightened awareness that feels eternal, in the sense that he has the awareness of the pain that he has caused in his living incarnation as Aleister, and how that trickles on, like the trickle effect of his impact in this world. And he's highlighting how when we all pass from this world, we essentially have a life review. And it's in that awareness, in our life review, of the good and the bad and everything in between, of the things that we had done in life. And energetically, that either raises us or that lowers us. And from there, that's where our incarnation or reincarnation or whatever happens with our soul, like that's where that transition will eventually happen, is through the awareness of this life, of what karmically needs to be done, what our soul needs to be done in order to heal itself. And so he's reminding me, okay, couple things. He's saying how he's saying how, like, the reminder is how I had this vision when I was younger. I had this vision that the things that we, like the gifts of this world, right? Like, it's not necessarily a gift, because a gift seems like it's special, like I'm special, but we're all equal, so it's probably a poor choice of words, but it's like I have this ability, right? And if I were to use this ability for evil or poorly, or if I just, whatever, if I wasn't doing good with this, if I wasn't following my life purpose and hopefully bringing people closer to their own journey in God, then I would lose this ability. Like, I would have to backtrack, because this is something that I essentially earned through many lifetimes of working on myself, and of this is just like my path, like my journey. This is what I am supposed to do. And so if I take advantage of it, then I have to basically relearn my lessons and, not have this anymore, kind of thing. And so feels so much remorse and grief because he considers himself a prophet. He's saying, I had the gift of seeing, I had the gift of knowledge, I had the gift of God, I had the gift of good. Not the gift of God, but like from God. I had the gift of something very miraculous and beautiful and good. And yet he's saying, like, I made mistakes, but it's not as it's like the reputation that he has is blown up more than who he truly was as a person. It's like, yeah, I was trying to recruit people, and like I was able to perceive things in people. So I'm gonna step out of this reading really quick, and I'll mention this. I'll mention this about what I personally know about him. No, never mind. I don't want to say it, just because I don't want to toxify this certain organization. There's an organization that he was involved with. I doubt most of you will not know what I'm talking about, so I don't know. But it's like he's saying, like, at that point he was addicted. Like, I was addicted to this at that point. It's like a high to him, a spiritual high that he was on. And he's saying, like, it's no fault but my own. But it came from a place of a lot of pain and trauma and poor coping skills. He's like, I wasn't able to cope. I wasn't able to cope with pain. It's like loss. Like, I wasn't able to cope with the loss of people in my life that I cared for and I loved. And so I went the other way. And I knew I wasn't supposed to do that. He's saying that wasn't fated. Like, that wasn't a life lesson for me. That was a choice. That was my personal choice that I made. I was not supposed to do that. I was supposed to be good in the world. I was supposed to show how wonderful I am in the world, and help people. And I did the complete opposite. And he's reducing himself to, he's saying like, in truth, in essence, I was just a drug addict, is what he's saying. But he's also saying, I wanted and I want to be known as a good father, as a loving father, a good partner, a loving husband. I messed it all up. I messed it up. But that's what I wanted to be known for. That's who I should have become. And that's what I truly desired. And those who know me, he's saying like that his family, like his living family, like they would know how, like where my heart was, or where my heart lied, like what a good person in my heart, like who I was in my heart. And he's saying like at the time that I like realized all of this, it was too late. Like the damage was already done. I made a name for myself, a reputation for myself, and I couldn't go back. And he's like apologizing, like I'm sorry for that. I'm so sorry for that. He's saying that essentially what happens is like, it's like when you pass away, it breaks your heart open, it breaks your soul open. It's like the truth of who you are and the impact that you have made in this life becomes clear. Like it's like there's no way of running away from it. Like you can run away in your mind, or you can distract yourself in this world. When you pass away, there's no hiding from that, and it's amplified because you can see everything. You can see how it later affects people, how it's immediately affected people, and it's processed in a way that's very personal. Like you can see inside everyone else's hearts and souls. And that hell that exists is this sense, this awareness of compassion for people, and basically continuously watching it play out through other souls. So it is eternal in the sense of it feels forever. It's like the time there spent is not only, it lasts, it's like in order to redeem yourself from there, like the soul to redeem it's until the souls that you've impacted heal. So they have to heal before you heal. So it's like you're okay. So he's saying like look at it in two layers, right? Like, or two levels, right? Like this is him below here, and this is someone he has impacted, right? This I would equate this to like a follower of him, right? Or like, I'll get it. Okay. So one of the things that I've said before is like not everyone should be doing tarot. The majority of people should not. And he always promoted that you should do tarot, and anyone can do tarot, because he was fully aware at the time that leaves people susceptible to demonic attack. And so all the people who are doing tarot and this, you know, all of this, and that were following through his wicked words, whether it was an eventual twisting somewhere down the line, or if it was a direct impact, it's still connected to him, originates from him. They're becoming unhealed. They're becoming unhealed because they're becoming possessed, demonically possessed, whether they are aware of this or not. And so as they lower, he still stays lower. And then as they start to heal, he can kind of go back a little bit. But that's only one person. There's so many people that he has impacted. So that's how that works. And On top of that, he is not living a human life. He is living a life of full awareness and emotion, of a heart opening. And it's mentally and emotionally very painful. I could equate this to, like, if you, I don't know. I don't really want to equate it to anything. I would just leave it at that. And so his main message, I feel, is that he's made peace with God. He's made peace with his actions and his inactions and his choices that he had made, and he understands why he has the reputation that he does and why it's essentially glorified, or for some infamous. And he does hope that one day he will be able to be seen in a new light. He will be able to be seen as someone who was hurting, but who was powerful, and who unfortunately made a mistake. But in his heart, for those who truly knew him and those who truly experienced him in a positive way and knew him in a positive way, could attest to those beautiful aspects of him, the lighter aspects of him, and to essentially not send him forever, like this eternal damnation. So it seems he's saying, it's like, the reason why he's saying, like, the reason why I'm even addressing this and I feel this is because I do want to change. I do not ever want to do this again. Like, I never want to do this again. I should have never something to do with, like, older female, like if it would be his mom or his aunt, something like that, when he was a child, and there's a big regret there that started. So it was like a passing, and then right before or right after the passing, there was something that happened with a older female that shut him down even more. And he's saying, like, that is where that choice, I made that choice. That's where things changed for me. And I wish I had the coping skills, the coping mechanisms to have handled that. I should have, he's like, I should have listened. It's like I didn't, saying at the time I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know where I was supposed to go with that. And so I just did what I thought would be fun. I just did what I thought would be entertaining. And he's saying, like, on one hand, I deserve the reputation I have, because it's like, it's kind of like guilt, like it's kind of highlighting, to the masses. It's highlighting who I was. Like, I'm kind of an example of, like, the poor aspects of a person can be. But at the same time, it's like, I don't deserve it, because there's more to me. There's a complexity to me. There's a kindness within me. And I'm not, he's like, I'm not this all-powerful guy. I gave myself up early. Like, that's what it was. It's like, I was addicted to drugs. I was like a highway vessel for demons. I didn't do the right things. I didn't make the right choices. And I didn't care because I was high. I didn't care because I was on drugs. I didn't care because the people around me didn't care. Like they thought I was interesting. They thought that like it was like we were encouraging each other. We were having fun. We were just messing around. It's like, it's kind of like he's saying he has like this spooky reputation, this spookier exterior, but in reality he was just nothing, is kind of what he's saying, is like just a person. There wasn't anything like extraordinary. What would have been extraordinary is being the prophet that changed the world in a positive way. I could have done so much. I could have healed so many people. My impact could have been amplified. When in truth, like I wanted that for myself too. I needed that for me. And I ran away from it. Like I didn't just deny it, I just rejected it. Like I just didn't want to acknowledge it. And I don't ever want to do that again. So that's my reading, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.